Hey, how you doing? It's Peter Keevil with another episode, number 3 this time, of TMR TV, the home of hard rock, classic rock, southern rock, stoner rock, all sort of things rock. On this week's show, we'll bring you some fantastic tunes from Goblin, from Trident Waters, and from the Killner Band. We will also have our very first TMR TV Insight Interview, where we'll be talking to people that operate behind the scenes in the music industry, just to give you a little insight, like what we did there. But before we go much further, we really must ask you to click the subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube. Also hit the bell notification so it sends you alerts when we've got a new show up. If you're watching on Facebook, then please get involved with the Facebook group and click join, become a member, banter away, chat to like-minded fans, talk about the shows, talk about what else you would like to see from TMR TV. So let's get on with some new music. This one's going to get your heart racing. It's Goblin. It's from their new live album, and this is called The Whip.
Devil's whip. That's how we on the road. That panic growing on. One bottle in hand. On damn evil man. No mouth, no soul, no law, no self-control. No time for sympathy. Hip hop, rock beat. Let's ride. Let it loose. Let's rip. That's right.
So that was Goblin, and we'll be talking to lead singer Ben Ward a little bit later in the show about their live album and about the tour plans that they've got coming up. Okay, but time for another tune. This one is from Trident Waters. They hail from London, and this is a new single of theirs. It's called Control the Animal.
Riding in my heels.
So TMR TV Insight Interviews. It's our way of finding a little bit more about this music industry that we operate in. In our very first TMR Insight interview, where we go behind the scenes, we're talking to Ben Ward, a booking agent of UTA. Here we explore what the role is of a booking agent, and it so happens that Ben is also the lead singer of Orange Goblin. So we will tail off the interview with a little bit of a chat about what the band is up to and what you can expect from them. So this is the first of our TMR Industry Insight interviews, where we chat to people that have got different roles within the industry, certainly focusing on hard rock and metal and hard blues and things like that. And so we're going to talk to, here we go, you can already see him, Ben Ward from United Talent Agency.
Yes.
UTA, as it's known.
Yes. I mean, I'm not sure how many people know me as the front man of Orange Goblin, but I'm sure even less know me as a booking agent for, as you say, United Talent Agency. And it's something I've been doing as it's my main job for the past sort of 4.5 years now, coming on to 5 years. It's something I enjoy. I have a roster of, I think it's about 21, 22 artists.
Wow.
I'm kind of responsible for all of their bookings in the UK and Europe.
Rewind a little bit. Let's start with some basics. So it's a booking agent. Is that what you call yourself? A talent agent? What? Live agent?
It's always been known as a booking agent with regards to music, because you're responsible for the band's sort of live bookings. And, you know, in these very difficult times right now, I'm fortunate that I work for an agency like UTA that is able to still pay me a basic wage sort of thing, and I'm not completely reliant on earning commission for my bookings, because obviously with the way things are going at the moment, every tour and every festival is being written off and postponed next year. So I'm managing to sort of keep my head above water, and I mean, no one knows when it's going to end. There's still no sort of foresight. We don't know if anything's going to happen within the live sector in 2020. Obviously, all my clients want to be playing all these big festivals across Europe and across the world, and they've kind of prepared for that with their when they record, when they release an album, when they go cycle. And now with all these festivals in 2020 being cancelled and they're honouring their lineups for 2021, a lot of these bands that are due to release new music won't get on the festivals next year either. So it's going to throw everything out for a few years, and I think the whole industry is going to take a long time to recover.
And is it part of your role to try to integrate whatever management the band has got to try to sync that all together and form that strategy?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think that's more prevalent now than it's ever been. More and more artists and clients are reliant on their touring business and the possibility to sell merchandise on their said tours. So every time, the artists I work with, every time they're planning an album release and an album tour, the management get the agents involved, and we look at strategic periods of the year when there's decent festivals that will cater to the specific artist or something, and then it all revolves around that.
And of course, that you've then got just thinking it through. You've obviously got competition with other bands and other agencies. So who you're pitching. Have you got internal competition as well? So if you're going to a festival, you're going to Sweden Rocks, you want to pitch your clients that are on your roster, individual roster, and then there are other agents, I presume, within UTA who might represent bands who are also looking for slots.
There's obviously that need to get your own clients on there, but I think with a company like UTA, we're lucky that we kind of work together with that, because some of us have got newer up and coming artists that haven't really sort of established, and we've got big headlining artists as well that we can use them to sort of help get our smaller artists onto the festival. If if these festivals come to us and they want our headline artists, we can use that as a bartering tool.
So do you all go en masse to Andy Copping's office, and there's 5 or 6 of you? Come on, Andy, you get these guys, we can give you these guys. You get these guys.
I'm sure if you spoke to Mr. Copping or Cameron or Sean Ryman at Live Nation, they'd say, they do get every agent from UTA is sending them their whole roster saying we need these and we need these, and we understand the sort of difficult job the festival promoters have. We know you can only have a certain number of bands each year, and that's why you have to sort of be accepting of that. You have to pull in favours when you need them. You have to be prepared to sort of do favours for the promoters as well. It's a give and take thing.
And so it's still a traditional remuneration model, is it, where you get a commission based on bums on seats, based on ticket sales?
Yeah, I mean, I basically get 10% of my artists' live fees.
Right.
So, if the shows do well and they're on a percentage deal, then I earn a bit more. So
yeah.
So I just work on that flat 10% commission rate, unless the artists are willing to pay me more, then I'm quite happy to take it. But no, I agree in keeping it simple. I mean, there's no contracts holding my artists to work with me. If they're not happy with the job I'm doing, they're free to leave any time. And likewise, if I'm not convinced that the artist is doing enough to earn me money, and I'm wasting my time pitching it, if they're not going to go out there and tour, then I can let them go as well. So it's really straightforward, old-fashioned sort of gentleman's agreement.
Is it like you are a self-contained agent within UTA? So you are part of the UTA family and you represent UTA. And my dog is now knocking my camera, so it might be wobbling slightly. Because you're talking about your own roster of acts. I'm assuming they're not assigned to you, are they? You go out there and spot the talent yourself and say, okay, you're in a position where do you need representation in the live arena?
That's all part of being an agent, is having that freedom to go out and discover new talent yourselves. And the best tools we have in this job are our ears and our kind of intuition, that you want to find that band at grassroots levels, playing in somewhere like the Lexington, 250 people, and then a couple of years later helping build that strategy that's going to see them selling out Wembley Arena. So that's the dream for every agent, is finding them small bands and being there from the start and being essential to the growth of their career. And UTA is an agency that definitely gives us the freedom to do that. We have to kind of go through a process where we discuss new signings or pursuits, but we're essentially allowed to go out there and encourage and find this talent ourselves.
Oh, cool. So you say you've been doing this perhaps 4 years, 5 years? Did you do independent or what?
I started in June 2015 at what was then called the Agency Group. And I'd been there a few months. In August 2015, we was bought out by what is now United Talent Agency.
So what made you want to become an agent?
I don't know. I've always worked in the music industry. Obviously, first and foremost, I've had 25 years of touring the world with Orange Goblin, and within that time, not only when I've been away with the band, I've kind of always had an interest in the day-to-day runnings of things and working out where the money's gone and where it comes from and how
where the money's gone. You just end a sentence there. Where's the money gone? I don't know.
And then for 10 years, I worked at a music management company called 115, looking after the daily affairs of people like Jules Holland, David Gilmour, Sid Barrett Estate, a few other sort of big clients, and it was interesting to see that side of it, and it gave me an idea of what a manager's role is, and it also helped introduce me to what an agent's role is, because obviously for those clients that we looked after, we had to deal with their agents and have meetings and things like that. And then a friend of mine, Paul Ryan, who's an agent for a long time agent at the Agency Group, and I've known Paul since he used to play in Cradle of Filth, and then he was in a band called Blood Divine that Orange Goblin toured with many years ago, and he just mentioned to me that the Agency Group, we need someone else within our rock and metal department. He said, and with your experience of working at management and being in a band and actually playing these festivals and playing all these venues all across Europe, he said, you must know all the promoters, you must know the venues. I'm like, yeah, I do. I know how to do a settlement sheet at the end of the night and that sort of thing. And he was like, okay, we'll come in. I had a couple of interviews, and they like my enthusiasm. They like the sort of the history I've got. And I never went to university or music college or anything like that and studied to do this. It was just, I think, as I say, music is an industry where you can get on if you trust your ears, you use common sense, you do basic maths, and you're not an arsehole.
Oh. So again, coming back to that agent role,
Yeah.
You're reaching out to, you have an idea of putting together a tour. You've got an up and coming band in the UK or wherever it is,
Yeah.
and you're going to book them a continental tour, and you then reach out through your knowledge and experience to promoters that you think would be interested having a slice of that tour and putting on a show.
Yeah.
Is that essentially it? Is that you having a big database of promoters and knowing what they're into and what they're after and what they would enjoy?
I think so. There's maybe a little bit of
simplifying
politics involved.
Right.
Yeah, it's maybe a little bit of politics involved, because you can work with a certain promoter in a certain territory, and they would kind of expect to do all of your artists. And,
okay.
If it's the right promoter for the right artist, then yeah, fair enough. But sometimes, the client dictates who you feel would do the best job everywhere. So, so it varies. And essentially, as an agent, we're entrepreneurs. We're salesmen, basically.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to these festivals trying to sell our products and tell them, if you want to sell tickets for your festival, this is the band you want, this is the artist you want. Yeah, so I get inundated with demos and things like that, and managers contacting me every day, just sending me their artists. And unless it's something really special that grabs my attention and has been making waves and I've heard the name, then you have to kind of, like I say, weigh up these things. Like, can I spend that much time trying to build something where there's obviously nothing really going to take off there, or do I take a plunge in because you have that faith that in a couple of years' time their name's going to be in lights?
Yeah, and it's just down to the feel in the water, the feel in the bones, is it, as to whether you think that works or not.
Exactly, yeah. And I'm sure there's many agents out there that have been, had the opportunity to sign bands like Oasis before they did finally make it. Or, or
everybody has those
a
stories.
demo by Slipknot in the early days and said, "Nah, do you know what? I don't think that's going to go anywhere." And now they're sitting there going, "Bollocks." Yeah.
Great, Ben. Thank you for that. Let's shift subject. There's another big chunk of your life.
Yes.
And it's not just alcohol. Yeah. Orange Goblin, 25 years.
Yes.
Where did that happen? How did that happen? Where's that gone?
I don't know. I mean, you don't even get that for murder these days. So. But no.
So, got a new live album out? Is it out yet?
Yeah,
is it about to come out?
Obviously, there was a lot of shows planned this summer to celebrate the 25-year anniversary, and COVID-19 has now meant that that's sort of all gone down the toilet. And the band needs something to exist. We still have like studio rent to pay. We still have like crew to pay and things like that. So we had a trawl through the archives, and we found some material that we thought we'd put together and make a decent live album. And Rough and Ready Live came out exclusively via our Bandcamp on Friday. You get an exclusive track on there. It will come out on all other platforms, Spotify and iTunes, all those later this week, I think it is. And then there's an accompanying video, and we've just been really busy promoting that, doing live Q&As on our Facebook page every Thursday. We've got a new Spotify channel, we've got a new YouTube channel, just taking this opportunity to do all the stuff we never had time for before, which is kind of updating our online presence and being a nuisance, really.
So forgive me for not understanding all the nuances, but is it a recently recorded live album, or is it from the 25 years? Have you got an anthology of stuff?
It's across recordings that our sound man did in the last 3 years. There's a show from Silac Open Air Festival in France in 2016. There's a show at Coco in London from 2016 as well. And there's also a show that we did in Athens in Greece last year. And we put them all together to get that kind of track listing that does, as you say, represent everything from our catalogue over the last 25 years. So
whose job was it to go through all these old shows and listen back to it and go, that version of that song, take it.
As I say, it's our sound man, Jez Walton, who's done all that. He's edited everything with the videos. He's been a bit of a whiz in this instance. And he came across all the songs. He twiddled with them, got them sounding as best they can, and sent them over to us. And yeah, then the band listened to it, and we'd all get to like three of the four of us would approve a song, but the guitarist would say, "Nah, my guitar needs to go up there." So Jez would have to redo that and then send it back. Say, "What do you think now?" And the guitarist would be happy with the bass player. So, "Well, now you can't hear me." So, you know, so there's all these sort of going back and forth, but we got there in pretty reasonable amount of time to put it all together, and we've had real good help from a friend of ours called Dan Tobin, used to work at Earache Records.
Sure.
He's kind of managed the whole project and been really beneficial with promoting it and setting up these Facebook events and getting these interviews and things like that. So yeah, it's good. And today, this morning, we've just announced the 25-year UK and Ireland tour. Which obviously a lot depends on what's going to happen over the next few months and whether live music will even be a thing by then. But we decided we did consider sort of holding off the announcement because we thought, is it really sort of important? And but I do think it's important to give people something to look forward to and give them a little bit of hope that they are going to be allowed out of their houses by the end of the year.
Yeah.
Because it's a pretty grim situation if we're not. So, you know, it's out there. The tickets go on sale this Thursday. We've got shows in Dublin, Belfast, Glasgow, Manchester, Birmingham, Cardiff, and then 2 nights in London at the Underworld, where we're going to be doing special sets each night, completely different track lists, set lists. And we're not sure how we're going to go about that yet. We don't know whether we're going to split it into different eras of the band, like the early years versus or whether we're going to just sort of put it to the fans' vote and ask them to sort of choose their favourite songs and pick set lists from that. We've got plenty of time in our hands to do that yet, but yeah, tickets on sale. And we've got Spirit Adrift from the US coming over as main support, and we're taking great new Cornish metal band called King Creature as good show. Yeah, it's something to look forward to.
Dare I say, was it self-booked?
Oh, of course, yeah. I was one of my clients, yes.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Ben, thanks for your time, buddy.
No
really
problem,
good to
mate.
talk to you.
Pleasure.
Thanks for your time, and we'll catch you again soon.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers. See ya. Bye-bye. That was our first TMR Insight interview. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it gave you a little bit of an insight into the role of the booking agent. And over the coming weeks, we'll be talking to other people that have important roles, from band managers to promoters to tour managers to labels and every other role behind the scene. So that's a wrap for this week's show. That's episode 3 already. We'll be back next Tuesday with more new music and hopefully a couple of chats with either a band artist or perhaps somebody from the music industry. We're going to leave you with one more new tune. This is from a band called the Killner Band, and because his name is on the label, this is all about singer-guitarist Tom Killner. He's got a new song coming out from his current album. The current album is called Get Back Up. This is a song called When Love Comes For You. I've been Peter Keevil. This is TMR TV. Hey, we'll see you real soon.